Yes, love grows near, and all of us can share the wonder and joy that it can bring. For God is near, teaching us to care and showing our hearts how to sing. Yes, love grows near. Yes, love grows near.
This week, we're talking about our first principle, which is the inherent worth and dignity of all people. I don't know for sure, but it would not surprise me that making that the first principle was deliberate. Because if you can't start with the foundation that all people have inherent worth and meaning, where do you really build from there? That notion comes from our Unitarian forebears in the 19th century, and the idea that everyone has worth was a response to the Calvinism that drove a lot of Protestant thinking at the time, which Calvinism held that humans were inherently depraved, inherently sinful. The Unitarians and the Universalists said, no, humans are inherently worthwhile. They are inherently loved by the Creator. Radical thinking at the time. We don't always appreciate that in this day and age. And it sounds maybe a little hippy-dippy, or maybe if we don't think too hard about it, we can say, well, yeah, everybody has worth and meaning. I can get on board with that. But if you think on it, you realize what a slippery slope that can be. Because acknowledging someone's worth and their dignity isn't just getting along with people and loving people who look like us or think like us or act like us. It's everyone. That's the catch. It's all people. So it's people who may have a different skin color than you, people who may vote differently than you, people who have a different sexual orientation than you, people who think it's stupid to wear a mask during a pandemic, even though you insist on wearing one yourself. Or God forbid, someone who roots for a sports team that you really don't like. All those people have worth and meaning too. It means people like Ku Klux Klansmen. It means people like illegal immigrants. It means people like drug dealers, murderers, homicidal maniacs. They have worth and dignity too. That's a hard one, isn't it? It's a hard one to get your head around. I know it is for me. But again, it's acknowledging that for everyone. There's a doctor, I think he's part of Doctors Without Borders, so I could be wrong about that, named Paul Farmer. And he has this quote that the first time I read it really made me think. And I'm going to leave you with this as you think about our first principle. The idea that some lives matter less is the root of all that is wrong with the world. Let me read that again. The idea that some lives matter less is the root of all that is wrong with the world. We often, in this day and age, hear things like Black Lives Matter or Blue Lives Matter, and some people will, get up and say, all lives matter. And the truth is, all lives do matter. But until we get to a point where we just recognize the inherent worth and dignity of all people without having to really wrap our heads around it, where it's just the way things are, until we can get to that point, we can't just brush it aside and say, well, all lives matter. So, why can't we just be like that? Because again, there's that idea that some lives matter more and some lives matter less. And until we can get over that thinking, we need to work toward that first principle. We need to work toward a time. And it may be a time, I'll be honest, that doesn't happen in my lifetime or your lifetime. I would love to think that it would, but I'm not completely an idealist. But if we could work toward a time when all lives truly mattered and everyone felt that way, then we wouldn't need something like Black History Month or Women's History Month or Gay Pride Month or anything like that. It would just be a celebration of humanity and an acknowledgement of the value of every human life.